I spend my days talking about leadership. It is redundant almost always, any word that you add in front of leadership. So if your organization is doing something clever, like you're talking about authentic leadership, and someone else is talking about transformational leadership, you're talking about the same thing, and you're giving it a wrinkle for no reason other than like wrinkles, which is odd for people. Some things I want to share with you about leadership. We are in the midst of a backlash, as you know, political, social, and otherwise, about inclusion broadly, even though what we're talking about is the fact that this is simply two things, inclusion, that are vital. Beyond the presence of difference, it is a performance prerogative, inclusion, because the presence of difference has never meant access to the brilliance of difference. You have HR departments that talk constantly, hiring managers talk constantly about the war for talent. And it's in front of you, hidden, because you can only imagine a partner to look a certain way or be a certain way, or frankly have a certain accent. We're in a space now where it's not enough for people to be excited about inclusion or to be passionate about inclusion. You are not helping us with your passion. It's funny, isn't it? Because you in your day jobs, you're so utterly expert in what you do that when you add passion on top of it, it sends your clients into euphoria. The idea that you're brilliant and passionate, enthusiastic, that you care, it matters so much. But if you remove the expertise, is their enthusiasm quite so great? And here we are in this space of inclusive leadership with leaders who parrot the narrative of how keen they are. I love this. My best friend is. They talk about inclusion relentlessly as a concept, and yet there's a cascade of implications of the narratives that are on most of your websites. We work in your sector quite a lot. And so I took the liberty of reading some of your websites. Senior colleagues here will take an interest in your career. Think about the cascade of implications for you in a utilization culture, with the numerous people who might then take that seriously and believe you. We value people. We want everyone to belong. Think about the skills and the knowledge that's required. It's not my work, actually. It's the work of a wonderful woman called Susan Mickey. She's a professor of psychology as well. She's a health psychologist, mother of behavior change. She's awesome. Spiky, but awesome. And she talks about the fact that behavior change is made up of not just will, wishes, and rhetoric, but knowledge. Notice I'm not talking about awareness. We need to move away from this talk of awareness. Awareness is the sickly stepchild of knowledge. Human beings deserve more than you to have a superficial understanding of them. And if you're going to work with them, they certainly deserve more than that. So a deep integrated knowledge, the same thing you would expect of you, with your colleagues, in the work that you do. Then capabilities, skills and tools, because we can never become au fait. We can never know every different type of difference. And it becomes quite transactional if what we do is we look at somebody and we say, oh, there's a bangle, must be a sick. I know how to talk to sick. It's ridiculous, right? So instead, we need a nuanced approach that helps us to understand how we are going to encounter things that are new and different to us in a way that misinterpretation is least likely, harm and offense is impossible to conceive. That's the level of knowledge and skill that we require. And then we have to remember, especially those of you who are senior in here, that often in an organization, in your organizations, the people with the knowledge and the skills lack your power. And it is a brave person indeed who looks at a senior person, a partner in your business, misstepping, making a mistake, even if it is the mildest sort, and then speaks up to them without the knowledge that their environment is not just psychologically safe, but that type of interaction is sanctioned by you. The last thing that Susan talks about is motivation. The idea that in this time it is hard to be motivated. Despite how important we all know this to be, it's hard to remain motivated in the face of people who castigate you and call you names and tell you you're woke and this is ridiculous and it's all gone too far because it's like 2 women now. And we have to remain stalwart. Because there is a big difference between progress and change. Progress is a steep slope with a Sisyphean ball on it, a rock that we are pushing up. Progress is so exhausting that should we ever stop moving, because people say, we've got there, everything's fine, you find yourself inexorably rolling back down again. We've seen this both in a legislative framework in America and in a real and cultural way in the last few weeks here. We need change. People can stand on change. They can breathe and take a break on change, feeling that the foundations beneath them won't be eroded while they rest. Leadership is energy expensive, and anybody who tells you different is lying to you or selling you something. There's no acronym that I can give you. It is energy expensive because you have to be consistent. You are the ones who have to spot the tiny instabilities and act. For all of us, it is easy. Someone walks into a room and yells forbidden words. We are there, fist in the air. We hear about non-consensual, or hopefully we hear about non-consensual touch of a woman, and we men react. And they say, no, never, not allowed. Perhaps not enough. But the reality is that we are where we are because the tiny incivilities have been ignored. How many of you have met people who say, well, if I dealt with everything I saw happen, I'd never get any work done? What an incredible indictment of a workplace. You are unfortunate in some sense in that the vast majority of you are utterly tiny. It's not your fault. It's your mother's fault.
Always.
It's a shame for you because it allows you as leaders to hide, to become eat me, drink me leaders, like in Alice Through the Looking Glass, where at times when they want to, you eat the cake and grow so everybody can see you in your magnificence, and at times when it's less convenient, you drink the potion and shrink to nothing. I'm a giant all the time. All the time. And it has taught me that everything I do is consequential and that I am always being observed. You need to think of yourself this way. Because giants who pretend that they are not do harm. In a room full of tiny people, everything about me is different and smaller. Because I know that even out of thoughtlessness, I could do catastrophic harm. And I wouldn't countenance that. Think about you in your environment. Occasionally, the way you see that associate or graduate look at you with awe. You tower over them. Don't tread on them. Build your skills, build your knowledge. That is how you honor inclusive, transformative, authentic, or any other kind of leadership. Thank you.